In this section, we're going to look at how we display data in Facebook apps. You've seen how we structure the basic app. You've seen how we set up the database to store the data. And remember, the only Facebook data that you store in there is a user ID. You don't store the friends list or anything like that. You get that from Facebook when your app is running. But you can store any data that your user enters into the database through your app. So that's what we're storing in there. You've seen how to enter it using the Facebook forms and how to structure the database, but now it's time to look at the other end of the operation, and that is displaying data from the database. And in this section you're going to see how to do it, and you're going to see some of the pitfalls that we have. Now, here's the basic app, and I can look and see my friends' pics, and you'll see that I have several friends and they have several pics. I'm not identifying which friend is picking which item. You could do that. That's perfectly legal to do because you can store a Facebook ID, but I'm just storing here the fact that some of my friends have chosen these pics. Fine. Very nice. There's 3 of them. I have a few pics of my own, and I can click here on my pics to see the pics that I have selected and stored in the database. And you'll see I have 2 pics that I've selected and stored in the database. Very nice. But what I'm demonstrating here is, in fact, 2 things. One is one of the difficulties with testing, which is that when you test, you often use made-up data, and you test to see that you can add pics and remove pics and everything works properly. And it's unrealistic to think that there might be only 2 pics. I might have 200 pics. My friends together might have 1,000 pics. And I'm not going to be able to display them just in a long, long list on a page where I'm going to have to scroll down. I can do what I've done here, which is to alphabetize them when I'm retrieving them from the database. So there's a certain amount of structure, but it's not going to work as soon as I have more than about half a dozen items of this size to be displayed on the page. So what I'm going to do in this section, and we'll jump basically to the end of it, because this is what I'm going to show you how to do here, is how to manage the presentation of a large amount of data. And you can't just rely on the scroll bar. First of all, the page will take too long to load. There are 2 mechanisms that we use, and this isn't just Facebook, this is for displaying data on the web. 2 mechanisms that we use to display data in manageable chunks. One is to paginate the data. And here you can see that I've got 55 items that I've retrieved from the database, and I'm displaying 1 to 3 of those items. And here I can go to, let's say, the last page by clicking here, and you'll see that of the 55 items, I am now going to be looking at the very last item in that list. And you'll see I'm looking at item 55. There's only 1 item on this page out of 55. I now have here a link to the previous page, and if I go here you can see I'm looking at items 52 through 54. I can now go to the next page, and I can jump to the first page, or when appropriate to the last page. And I have my pagination controls up here at the top and at the bottom, so no matter where I'm scrolled I can get to them. So pagination is one strategy for dealing with large amounts of data. Another way for dealing with large amounts of data is to use the selections such as the categories that we used when we entered data. If I go to History and Museums and use, this is a form just as it was a form for entering data, and select the category History and Museums, I'm going to have a manageable number of items, and that magical number happens to be 1. So I don't have to worry about it, and you'll notice I don't have any pagination here because I only have 1 item. But if I go to the category Food and select it, you'll see that I've now got 24 items, and I've now got pagination controls because I need to use both. I need to go using the category or a state or a zone. Any of these criteria that I can use to filter the selection will reduce the size of the found set and then I can use pagination to wander through the found set. So that's what we're going to talk about in this section, and you're going to see how to do the basic displays, and you're also going to see how to do pagination and how to retrieve based on categories.